what I want to do today is I want to talk about your Facebook group. And this is one of the things that some of you are doing, but a large amount of you have not yet adopted. And there's a number of different reasons why you would want to set up a Facebook group. And we're going to go into those reasons, and we're going to look at the different types of groups that you could do. So next week we'll be looking at or breaking down different types of groups that you can or you should actually be operating. But just by way of information at the moment, let me know hashtag yes or hashtag group if hashtag group. So I when we're looking back on this later, we'll know hashtag group if you are already running a Facebook group for your business, not a Facebook page, but hashtag group if you are already running a Facebook group for your business. I don't mean a Facebook group for your hobbies or your family or anything like that. If you are running one for your business, hashtag group now in the comment section. I'm going to finish off this coffee, which is now cold. So Gary Pratton is running a group, and I would expect that. Of course, I am running a group. But how many of you guys are actually running a group for your business? And I'm asking for a reason, because I know when I talk to the guys one-to-one, when I'm doing mastermind or when I'm doing the business builder with you guys, one of the things that we talk about is Facebook and the use of Facebook and how effective it can be. And it surprises me to see how many of you are not actually running a Facebook group. Because for me, a Facebook group can be hugely effective in what I call corralling your customers. Let's have a look at some of the stuff around running a Facebook group. We call ring fencing or corralling your customers. See, when you get a customer, when somebody buys something from you, particularly a service, particularly as a tradesperson, if somebody buys something from you, so you go into their home, in most cases with us, or you go into their business premises, and you carry out some work and they pay you for it. What you have done there is you have created an element of trust. Now, the only person who can screw that up afterwards is you. You can screw that up by either not doing a great job, which I'm sure many of you will do. I'm certain if you're in the toolbox group, you are going to be careful about the work that you actually do. So, the only people once the customer's gone, yes, please take my money and do this job for me, then we are the only ones that can really screw it up for ourselves. Okay, and we can do that by either doing a poor job and then they'll never have you back again. Or we can do it by what I see a lot of people doing, treating it as a transactional situation. And by transactional situation, you'll have heard me talk about this before on numerous different events. By a transactional situation, what I mean is that we get the customer, we do the job, we get paid, we bank the money, and that's the end of the transaction. And that, guys and girls, is such a big mistake, because there has been a cost involved in you getting that customer. Whether that cost was in advertising or promotion or marketing or your time or your energy or somebody else recommending that customer to you, there has been a cost in getting that customer. And if you only have that customer for one job, you are not maximizing the potential of that customer. Now, that may have been a small minimum charge job, or it may have been a large rewire or a project much larger. But if you don't nurture, that's where we're coming on to next, if you don't nurture that customer and build a relationship with that customer, then that has been a waste. All you've done is entered into a transaction where you've carried out some work, you've got paid for that work, and now you go back and you start trying to do a transactional relationship again with a new customer. You start the same process. You advertise, you promote, you build word of mouth, and then you get a customer, and then you get paid, and then you bank the money, and then that's the end of the relationship. Okay, we believe in the toolbox in nurturing every single person that comes into contact with your business, whether they buy from you or whether they just inquire from you, they are either a customer or a potential future customer. Just because they don't buy from you at this present moment in time and they go away and work with somebody else doesn't mean that they'll never buy from you again. So what we aim to do is we aim to nurture these customers. And there's a number of different ways that we do this. One of the biggest ways, before Facebook was ever a thing, one of the biggest ways we used to do this was by building a mailing list. So we would add people to our AWeber mailing list, email list, and that way then we can continue to keep in touch with them. And that's great, and you should continue to do that, and you should have multiple approaches to it. But the other thing that you should be doing is you should create a Facebook page for people who have been your customers, people that you have worked for, that have opened their homes, opened their wallets, opened their trust to you. Then you put them into this Facebook group. And inside of that Facebook group, you nurture them. You provide them with information. And this is not all posting about your work and your job. This is about providing them with information. Now, if you're dealing with your ideal customer, they will be hopefully within a local community. So local community information inside of that group, sharing other experts inside of that group. One of the ideas I've talked about with one of my one-to-one clients has been running a regular fortnightly spot like we do here on a Wednesday morning, but not necessarily on a morning. It could be an evening, could be a weekend, but where they interview another expert. So the electrician interviews the bricklayer, or interviews the carpenter, or the builder, or the gardener, or the locksmith. And that providing information for your customers, helping your customers to meet other local tradesmen that you work with, that you trust, but providing you with content into the group, making the group interesting for people, and also building relationships with those other tradespeople so that they in turn start to recommend you. So you can add those tradespeople into your Facebook group so that they can interact with your customer. They're not competing, they're different trades, but you're building a community of people that within that circle, within that Facebook group, the customers will start using those tradespeople. The tradespeople will start referring and talking to one another. It's all building content for you within the actual page itself. And all you have to do is set up the group and manage the group and put some content into it from time to time. That is of interest to your local community. Not all work-related content, but stuff that is of interest to your local community. And by doing that, and by nurturing that group, and by building that group, you are ensuring repeat business. You're ensuring that these customers will come back to you time and time again. Not only will they come back to you, but they will recommend you. And that brings us on to the next thing that we talk about, which is evangelizing. And when you get an evangelist for your business, that is somebody who recommends you without you having to keep on telling them how great you are. You're doing it automatically through this group. And people who evangelize for your business is the best form of, they say word of mouth, but somebody who evangelizes about you, who says how fantastic you are and how you look after your customers and how great the service you provide is, and that you're a gatekeeper to other great tradespeople. All of this builds your business on steroids, and it does it in a way that doesn't cost you a fortune, without having to spend money on advertising, without having to keep going out and finding new customers. Nurturing a group like this will bring custom in to you. And of course, each time somebody recommends somebody else, they become a customer, they get added to the group, and the group just becomes bigger and bigger. And if you've got all of these people who are talking about you and saying nice things about you, then occasionally, every now and again, you just drop into the conversation that you need a recommendation, that you need a testimonial to be posted on Google, or you're looking for comments on your website, and these people will just go and do it. They will go to your Facebook page and they will comment about the service that they had. They will go to your Google My Business page and do a testimonial on there. Because they're in a community and they feel part of the community, they are more likely to respond when you make requests like that. Also, then when you have special offers that you may be doing, whether it's a special price on a consumer unit, or an offer on doing smoke detector installs, or whatever it happens to be, you want to promote EICRs and so on and so forth. Then when you do those promotions into the group, it wakes people up. It's the very same as when we send out the promotional emails. It wakes people up to the idea, oh yeah, I could probably do with that. And it will create and generate business for you as well. So having these Facebook groups is hugely valuable because, as I say, you're ring fencing, you're corralling these customers. Guys, just hashtag make sense. If this makes sense to you, just hashtag make sense, because it surprises me the number of people who let this slip by. And then the beautiful thing about this is it is completely and absolutely free for all of you to do. There is no charge for you to set up a Facebook group. All you need do is put the group together. Then all you need to do is brand the group the very same way as you would brand your page, your website, your YouTube channel. As we say, we keep all of that branding at the top the same. A nice image of yourself, very clear of who you are and what it is you actually do. It's your group after all. Very clear contact information, so that if somebody thinks, oh shit, how do I get hold of James? Oh, I know, let's have a look inside the group. There we go, top of the group, we've got a phone number. We know exactly how to actually get hold of you. You become a gatekeeper to other trades because you allow other trades that you trust into the group. And then you set up a process whereby you interview those once every fortnight, once every month, whatever way you want to set it up. You do it. You interview another tradesperson. You put some simple questions together. You can make a bit of fun out of it, and you can give the customers an opportunity, same as we do on a Saturday Toolbox talk with the experts. You give your customers an opportunity then to question the expert, so they can ask somebody, what if I had a property that was X, Y, Z? They ask the question. This is providing you with content, so you're not having to create the content. All you need to do is create a couple of questions to start off the interview, and then hand it over to a Q&A inside of your group. Another very simple idea is to do either a weekly or a monthly DIY tips, where you go on live and you offer DIY tips. Now, remembering it doesn't necessarily have to be all about your trade when you're doing DIY tips. Some people may want just a DIY tip on, I don't know, how to drill a hole in a wall, how to mix up some filler, how to hang a picture. I don't know. But if you just open up your group once a month, and you say, right, on Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the month, we're going to do DIY your questions answered, and all you do is do exactly what I'm doing now here. You go on live, you get a piece of software like StreamYard, you go on live, you open up, you have a couple of slides to do your introduction, and then you open it up to the audience, and you say, right, what DIY questions do you want me to answer now? And if you're concerned about people asking questions or not asking questions on the night, you put a post up a couple of days beforehand saying, going live on Tuesday night, or whatever night you choose, going live on Tuesday night, going to answer your DIY questions. What's bugging you? Type your question in now. And then you get a couple of questions in advance, and you launch on your Tuesday night with your couple of questions in advance. And I guarantee you that when you are doing this, and when you've built up your customer base, and when you've got your page built up, people will join and people will ask questions, because people always do. So, you need to start making use of these Facebook groups, free for you to use. And it makes a very, very simple point of contact for your customers to be able to say, if they're going to recommend you, if they want to get hold of you yourself, it makes it very easy for them to go, oh, I'm in that group. And they can go, instead of going, I've got to find his Facebook page or whatever. No, they'll go, because in the sidebar of your Facebook page, you've got a list of the groups that you belong to. You just click on it and you go, right, I'm in that electricians group. I know where to go if I need the electrician, or I need the builder, or I need the plumber, or I need the heating engineer, or I need the gardener. And where am I going to go? Well, I'm going to go to James's Facebook group, the one where he gives us all that valuable information, because that's where I would trust, and that's where I would go, rather than going to look at the yellow pages, or rather than go and search on Google, or rather than go and look in the local community magazine. This is what people will do. And yet very few tradesmen taking advantage of this. I'll say it again. it costs you nothing but a little bit of time and a little bit of effort to do something that could have a tremendous effect on your business. Can I see a hashtag penny drop for anybody who's thinking to themselves, yeah, this is an idea that I'm going to make use of?